Today I have two types of boots to show you, a soft shell boot and a hard shell boot. Soft shell boots are popular for freestyle and just general all-around riding. The hard boots more for racing and alpine snowboarding. Soft shell boots are characterized by a leather upper and a rubber lower part. There's a lot of flexibility and they work really well with the high back binding. Hard shell boots, on the other hand, are quite a bit stiffer. They work with a plate binding and they're a lot more rigid. The support comes from the boot, not the binding. Whether you're using a soft boot or a hard boot doesn't really matter. It's up to the individual. Both will get you down the hill and you'll have a great time. First, let's take a look at plate bindings. Plate bindings work with a hard shell boot. What they have is a locator for the toe and a locator for the heel. It's a little bit more rigid system, very much like alpine. Go into your local snowboard shop and they can show you a variety of different types of plate bindings. Now let's take a look at the high back binding. This is the most popular binding on snowboards today. It's characterized by an ankle strap, a toe strap, and of course the high back. This binding is most popular for freestyle boards and it works with a soft shell boot. Important characteristics of the snowboard: the nose, which initiates the turn, the waist, which is the body of the turn, and the tail, which finishes the turn. Two other things: camber, which is the amount of curve that the board has, and flexibility. First, I'd like to talk about alpine snowboards. There's three types: a slalom board, giant slalom, and a downhill board. They range in length from 160 centimeters to about 180 centimeters. Slalom being a little shorter, downhill being longer. What makes these different: the nose of the board usually doesn't have a lot of kick, so it doesn't chatter a lot. And the tail of the board is pretty flat. Slalom board has quite a bit of side cut, so it's narrow in the waist. Where a downhill board doesn't have a lot of side cut, it's pretty straight. Now let's take a look at the freestyle board. These boards are made for all-around riding fun and freestyle maneuvers. They're usually anywhere from 145 centimeters to 165 centimeters. Things that make them a little different is they have more kick in the nose, quite a bit of side cut, and a kick in the tail, so you can ride both directions. On a snowboard, you have a choice of two stances: either right foot forward or left foot forward. If you surf or skate, it's probably the same. If you're not sure, let me stand on a board and you can take a look at it. I've taken the bindings off the snowboard so that I can show you the two different stances. Right foot forward, which we'll call goofy foot, and left foot forward, which we call regular foot. If you're still not sure what your stance is, take a snowboard lesson from a good instructor and he'll get you started with the right stance. To get you moving and improve balance on your snowboard, let's try skating. To start, let's try balancing on just our front foot. Get a good feel for this balance. Okay, now step over to the toe side. Push the board ahead and get low, then step ahead with your free foot. Push, step. Push, step. Push, step. Develop a rhythm and flow. Now I'm going to step over to the heel side. In smaller steps, push the board ahead, then step ahead. The board and step. Push and step. Push and step. Now I want to combine the two, toe side and heel side. We're going to call this an alternating skate. With your weight centered directly over the middle of the board, alternate from your heel side to your toe side. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, and toe. Once you've mastered the alternating skate, it'll help develop your balance and control of your snowboard. Once you've mastered some skills on the flats, it's time to go up the hill. Sidestepping is a great way to get there. Step ahead with your free foot. Match the toe of the foot on the board to the heel of your free foot. Step, 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 step. Work your way to a point that you feel comfortable. Now pick up the board and swing it around you. I call that a directional switch. Step up and over the board. Now I'm looking down the fall line. Pick the board up, point it down the hill, step onto the board and glide. Keep your knees bent and be relaxed. Practice this a few times. Once you've mastered sidestepping, the directional switch, and a straight glide, you're moving on the snow. Keep practicing these and soon you'll be ready to snowboard the whole mountain. Side slipping is one of the most basic exercises we can do on our snowboard. Let's see how it works. Start from a balanced platform on 2 feet. Release the edge and let the board start to slide. Increase your speed so you can maintain a nice balance. Re-engage the edge to slow it down. Release the edge again and let it slide. Then re-engage the edge again. Let's see how this works one more time. Release the edge, slide, re-engage. Release the edge, slide, and engage. Now that we've tried side slipping on the heel side edge, I'm switching over to the toe side edge. I'm going to try the same thing. I start from a balanced platform and I'm going to release the edge and start side slipping. I'm going to re-engage the edge to slow it down by bending the knees and getting low. I release the edge again, start side slipping, and then I'm going to start to re-engage the edge and slow it down. Practice this a few times and soon you'll have the skills you need to get down any slope. Today we're going to work on the patience turn. This combines a skidded traverse, pressure, and weight transfer. Let's see how it works. Begin by using a skidded traverse across the fall line. Checking your speed. Slow down, allow the weight to come to the front of the board, transfer the weight to the other edge. Skid across, check your speed, pressure forward, and transfer the weight to the heel side. Skid it across, check your speed, weight comes forward, and transfer to the other edge. Do it again. Get a feel for the patience turn, and you'll soon have linked turns all the way down the hill. The pendulum is a great exercise to develop pressure control and edging ability. If you've been having trouble holding an edge at the end of the turn, I think this is an exercise that's going to help you out. Begin by side slipping. Then add pressure to one foot, to the left, or to the right. To the left, or to the right. The tail of the board, the nose of the board. The tail, the nose. Back and forth. Develop the ability to feel that edge. We can also do a pendulum on the toe side. Let's get onto the toe side. Transfer weight to the front foot, then the back foot. The front foot, then the back foot. Soon you'll be linking your turns consistently down the mountain. Once we've mastered a straight glide, it's time to begin a rudimentary turn to a stop. I'm going to start with the toe side edge. Watch how this works. I find my balance, I pressure the toes, and point the direction I want to go. The board comes around and stops. Let's see that again on the heel side. Once again, from a straight glide, this time I'm going to make a turn to a stop on the heel side. Find your balance, sit back onto that heel edge, And a little bit of rotation until you come to a stop. These are the two basic turns in snowboarding. Today let's take a look at static pivots and sliding pivots. What we're trying to do is develop the ability to make turns across the fall line down the hill. Let's start with a static pivot on a relatively flat area. There'll be some movement forward, but what we're trying to do is get the board working back and forth. Begin by putting your weight forward. Swivel the back around. Weight comes forward, then back. Forward, then back. Forward, then back. Forward, then back. What this will lead to is sliding pivots on the slope. Sliding pivots are going to help you to link turns down the fall line. And soon you'll be linking turns all over the mountain. Let's take a look at the two most important moves in snowboarding, the heel side stand-up stop and the toe side stand-up stop. Let's try the heel side stand-up stop to start. Get yourself moving. Glide and sink into the turn and absorb. Allow the board to start a turn. Once the turn is started, put pressure to the back foot and absorb into the stop. Now let's take a look at the toe side stand-up stop. Initiate pressure to the nose of the board. Once the board starts to turn, put pressure to the tail of the board and absorb into the stop. Work on developing a good smooth stop on your heel side and toe side. Correct rotary movement will help smooth out your turns, develop an even flow as you're coming down the hill. Pivoting requires rotary movement. Notice how the upper body becomes countered to the lower body. Turning, also, look how the arms move in relation to the board as we're making the turns. And stopping, the big stop, requires a lot of rotary movement. Today we're going to look at loading and unloading the chairlift safely. Begin by skating through the lift line. Wait for the attendant so he's ready. Set yourself up and glide into position. Look back for the chair. Have a seat, pick up your free foot and the snowboard. Relax, enjoy your ride to the top. To prepare yourself to unload for the chairlift, set yourself at a little bit of an angle sitting on the chair. Point the board directly ahead. When you come up to the unloading ramp, we're going to set our front foot down onto the ramp. Stand up and balance on both of our feet. As we start to glide out the ramp, we're going to put more weight to the back foot. So we set our front foot down, back foot down, stand up, glide off, and come to a stop. Riding a chairlift is easy, but it needs to be safely done. From time to time on the mountain, you'll find yourself stuck in the flats. We can use self-propulsion to help keep us moving. What we're going to do is drive our weight to the front of the board by up unweighting the back foot. It brings the board forward. If that's not working for you, we can try walking the board. Think of lifting the left foot, then the right foot. Left, right, left, right. Kind of like walking. If that's not working for you, up unweight the board and jump it ahead. Jump it ahead. In the last resort, If that's not working, unbuckle your boots, pick up your board, and walk. A SKed Traverse is going to help us develop directional control and mobility on the mountain. Let's see how this works. On a heel side edge, go down and across the hill, slipping under both your heels. Check your speed. Stop. Now let's try it on the toe side edge. Traversing across, pressure on both your feet. Watch where you're going, keep your head looking straight forward. Once we've mastered a skidded traverse, we're ready for the Carv Traverse. A Carv Traverse utilizes more edging. Start with a little bit more speed and then initiate pressure to the heel side edge. Watch how this works. I gain speed, I set the edge, and get low. I go across the slope. Let's try it on the toe side edge now. I gain speed, I set the edge, and I traverse. Turn initiation is important on a snowboard because once you set that edge, you're going to turn one way or the other. Let's take a look at how it works. From a straight glide, feel your balance over the center of the board. Start to apply pressure to the nose and let the board come around. This time, from a straight glide, find your neutral position. Lean into the nose and drive forward. Turn initiation to the toe side edge or the heel side edge is important. Once you've set that edge, follow through. Then start your next turn. Garlands, like cutbacks in surfing, allow us to make turns into and across the hill. If you're having difficulty on your toe side or heel side edge, garlands are a great exercise. Let's take a look. Start by turning into the hill, stand tall, relax. Turn into the hill, stand tall and relax. Turn in, relax. Turn in, relax. On the toe side, the same thing. Garlands are a series of directional changes across the slope. If you're having trouble turning on one edge or the other, work on this turn. It'll help to develop balance and control. You'll enjoy cutbacks, or garlands we'll call them. It's just like surfing. Today let's talk about pressure control on our snowboard. Imagine a big circle that starts at the nose of the board and goes all the way around to the tail. And you're right in the middle of that circle. Start by leaning forward, feeling the weight on your front foot. Now, we're going to go in a full circle. Put pressure to the front foot on the toes. Both of the feet to the toes. Now the back foot. Now the heel on the back foot. Both the heels, and now the front foot on the heel. This full circle is the range of motion that you'll have on your snowboard. Now that we understand full circle range of motion, let's try an exercise. Begin by skating with your back foot behind you on the heel side edge. Push the board forward in a circle. We're going to do a figure 8. Step over onto the toe side and work your way around on the toe side. Then back onto the heel side. That's one way to get a feel for your board in pressure control. Now, with both feet in the bindings, let's try an exercise in pressure control. Swing the back of the board around so you're pointing down the hill. Now we're going to put weight forward, forward, then back. 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 These exercises move your weight from the front of the board to the center, to the tail, and also from the toe side and the heel side. Work on it. Today we're going to work on a medium radius carved turn. This turn has a constant speed and radius. Let's take a look at how it works. Get yourself moving. Get low into the turn, rise up, and low into the next turn. Rise up, and low into the next turn. Rise up, and down into the next turn. Up, down into the next turn. During this turn, we're maintaining a constant speed and radius. There'll be quite a bit of anticipation and some rotary movement. I'd like to talk about edge change in snowboards. On a snowboard, since we only have a toe side edge and a heel side edge, the tilting action is really important. I'm going to show you some quick turns down the fall line to see how it works. As I change from my toe edge to my heel edge, my toe to my heel, I'm keeping my weight right over the board. Edge change is important in snowboarding. It's much like racing slalom. What it does is it keeps my center of gravity right over the middle of the board. Short radius skidded turns require up on weighting, pressuring, and edging. Develop a nice smooth flow. Carv turns are more dynamic and require a good rhythm and flow. A short radius turn, whether it's carved or skidded, is a lot of fun. As you develop the ability to make those turns, you'll find yourself racing slalom, skiing the bumps. You'll be all over the mountain. Short radius skidded turns and short radius carved turns are quite a bit different. The short radius slows you down, the carved turn speeds you up. To get yourself started in the half pipe, get yourself a good balance on your 2 feet. Before I start moving, this is really important. What I'm going to do to start is cross the half pipe in a SKed Traverse. I'm not going to jump out of the pipe, I'm just going to use the wall. I'll make a turn, I'll go up onto the other side and do the same thing. Watch how this works. When you're first getting started in the half pipe, don't worry about catching that big air to get started. What you really want to do is get used to the walls and surf it, just like in the ocean. When you're skiing the steeps, it's important to maintain balance and control. I'm going to try a jump turn to help make things work. During the jump turn, we're going to use a little bit of up on weighting, then absorption. Let's give it a try. I get myself moving and take a nice easy pace. I follow through. I up on weight and jump the board up off the snow. Jump up and absorb. Jump up and absorb. Jump up and absorb. Develop a smooth flow with the jump turns and it will help you on the steep. When you're skiing in the steep bumps, remember, speed control, absorption, up on weighting, all really important. If you get going too fast, slow down, because if you don't, you're history. Let's see how it works. In moguls, set yourself up. Rebound, on weight, follow through. On weight, absorb into the next turn. Go across if you need to, set up, make your next turn. Develop a consistency. Don't be afraid to let those legs bend. Come up, absorb into it. Come up, absorb into it. Follow through to a point of balance and control. Hold your speed down, because if you don't, you're going to get in trouble. It's okay to side slip. The key thing in skiing steep bumps is to maintain balance, control, and use your edges. Today let's take a look at functional snowboard skiing. What it is a variety of skills and exercises appropriate to the terrain and snow condition. First thing we want to do is start from a point of balance. Drop in, absorb into your first turn. Set up, follow through into your next turn. Come around. Side slip if you have to. Back and forth. Use a pendulum if necessary. Drop back in. Absorb. Follow through. Use all the skills you have at your disposal and develop a smooth rhythm and flow. Set yourself up. Use absorption. Back and forth. Develop an ability to have a smooth run. Remember, anyone can ski fast, but functional skiing means skiing in control and using all the skills at your disposal. Have fun with it. I'll see you soon for more snowboarding tips.